Lesson 24, adding and subtracting decimal numbers. So the rules for adding and subtracting when we're dealing with decimals. The biggest rule that you need to make sure you follow is line up the decimal points. When you line up the decimal points, the digits should line up as well. Don't put any gaps in there in between numbers and in between the decimal point. Make sure that everything is lined up. So here you can see the decimal points are all lined up. That means all the decimals or all the digits line up. And if there aren't enough digits, you just put zeros where those gaps are. Same thing with the subtracting, line up the digits or decimal points, and then the digits line up straight there, and just put the zeros where there is no digit. And then you can add and subtract going straight down. Let's take a look at some examples. We got 12.5 plus 3.75 plus 2. We're going to add all of those together, so I'm going to put all my numbers together. So 12.5. Since I have two decimal places, I'm going to make all mine with two decimal places. Plus 3.75 plus 2.00. My decimal points are lined up. I can add straight down. So 5 plus 0 is 5. 5 plus 7 plus 0 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. And then I have my 1, so 18.25. And everything should be lined up, decimal points lined up, digits lined up. Next one, I have 5.20. I'm going to put 20 because I have two decimal places as my biggest decimal. I'm subtracting 2.88. And I can't take 8 from 0, so I borrow. 10 minus 8 is 2. Can't take 8 from 1, so I need to borrow again over here. 11 minus 8 is 3. Decimal point down. 4 minus 2 is 2. And you can always check your answer by adding in reverse. 2 plus 8 is 10. 3 plus 8 plus 1 is 12. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. I get 5.20. Next problem. I have two decimal places, so I make sure all the numbers have two decimal places. So 7.50 plus 12.75. Add straight down. 5, 12. 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. 20.25. And the last one here, 4.2. And I'm adding 12.0. Add them together. I have 2 decimal points. 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 1 is 16. So I have 16.2. A few more examples here with adding. So 0.3 plus 0.8, everything's lined up. 3 plus 8 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 0 is 1, so 1.1. 11.46 minus 3.60. Subtracting those, 6 minus 0 is 6. Can't take 6 away from 4, so I need to borrow. So this becomes just 10. 14 minus 6 is 8. 10 minus 3 is 7. I would have 7.86. Next problems, 5.20 minus 4.87. Subtract, I can't take 7 from 0, so I need to borrow. 10 minus 7 is 3. Can't take 8 away from 1, so I need to borrow. 11 minus 8 is 3. 4 minus 4 is 0, 0.33. The last one on this slide, got 3.00 minus 2.94. Subtract, I can't take 4 away from 0, can't borrow from the 0, so I need to borrow from the 2. It becomes 10. Now I can borrow from a 10, get 9 here, borrow from the carry, so I got 10 more on my 100th place, so 100. A 10 minus 4 is 6. Everything else is 0, so I would have 0.06. make sure you put that decimal and that extra 0 in there. Otherwise, it's going to look like you have an answer of 6 instead of 0.06. And let's look at some word problems here. Gregory's temperature was 100.2 degrees Fahrenheit. The thermometer marked 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit as normal body temperature. How many degrees above normal was Gregory's temperature? So I take 100.2 and I subtract 98.6. I cannot take 6 away from 2, so I need to borrow. So I take this, that's really 99. I take 1 away from the degree. 1 away from 100 is 99. Now I have 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. 99 minus 98 is 1. So it would be 1.6 degrees Fahrenheit above normal. The next one, the weather report stated that the recent storm dropped 1.50 inches of rain, raising their seasonal total to 26.42 inches. What was the seasonal total prior to the recent storm? So before. So prior just tells you you're subtracting our two numbers. So 26.42 minus 1.50. 2 minus 0 is 2. Can't take 5 away from 4, so I need to borrow. 14 minus 5 is 9. 25 minus 1 is 24. So the previous season total was 24.92 inches of rain. And our last slide, arrange these numbers from least to greatest. So again, I have a negative, so that's my smallest number. Then I look at what I have left. No more negatives, so 0 has to be next. And then I have a fraction, half, which is 0.5, which is less than 2, but smaller than or bigger than 0.3, which is bigger or less than 1.75. So my next one has to be 0.3. Then it's half. Then it's 1.75. And my biggest number is 2. And then let's compare these two numbers. Here when I compare, I'm just comparing decimal places. They both start with 0. And then after the decimal point, they both have a 0 and a 3. The third decimal place is a 6 and the other one's a 5. 6 is greater than 5, so 0.036 is greater than 0.0354. So that's our lesson on adding and subtracting decimals. So a reminder, make sure you line up the decimal points, line up the digits, and then add and subtract.